Hello from Goodwood. It is the end of the third day of the 2019 Goodwood Festival. I'm Sam Hanson and I'm joined today to discuss the day's action by Lee Mottershead, Racing Post senior writer. And Lee, a day where the headlines were written, or formulated rather, about an unexpected story.
Yeah, with the best in the world, I don't think we came here today thinking that as we leave Goodwood on this beautifully sunny Thursday evening, the Magnolia Cup would have been the creator of not just the biggest headlines for us at Racing Post, but headlines that will have created stories that will be widely covered across the BBC, across ITV News, across Sky, across newspapers. Networks in Australia were asking for feeds of what happened today in the Magnolia Cup, the glorious Goodwood charity race, in which Khadija Mellah, a British Muslim lady who lives in South London, who learnt to ride at the magnificent charity that is the Ebony Horse Club, went and won the race on the horse who was the rank outsider going into it. She produced him with a perfectly timed challenge to get up on the line and deliver a victory that was wonderfully warmly received on the racecourse, and which hopefully will do plenty of good for the future, because Khadija was the first lady ever to win a race on a British racecourse wearing a hijab. She represents a community that, in terms of certainly of jockeys, hasn't been really represented in Britain before. Salim Golan was champion apprentice in 2005, but the Muslim community is not one that we associate with the weighing room, nor indeed with racing outside of the massive investors that have come from Gulf states like Dubai, UAE and Qatar. So it was a tremendous day. It was, I say, the reaction to it was great too, because there was such warmth for Khadija, whose smile lit up the racecourse. She was just so euphoric after the race. She just, obviously I'd never met before today, but she seems like a smashing lady. She's from a family that clearly has become pretty hooked on horses and racing. Her brother rides out for Chris Wall, and like Khadija now, is hoping to get an amateur rider's licence. Nice. So it was just a story that was, first and foremost, it was her triumph. It was her great day, but hopefully it will send out messages and signals that can only do racing good.
Absolutely, and a line as well of credit to our own Kitty Trice, Racing Post reporter, who competed in the Magnolia Cup as well. We've been following her journey, and she did terrifically well. I was very proud as well. But of course, there was also some group racing going on today, and some noteworthy results there. Yeah,
I mean, seen approaching the final furlong of the Nassau Stakes, that Frankie Dettori was going to win another Group 1, and he would have been overshadowed had he done so by Khadija. But he didn't win that Group 1 because Medaya, having looked set to score, was grabbed inside the final furlong by another unlikely winner in Deirdre, the Japanese challenger, who had produced very strong form in Japan, but had been well beaten at Royal Ascot in the Prince of Wales Stakes. They persevered, they kept to here, and my word, they were rewarded, because their fantastic racehorse became only the second Japanese trained horse to win a Group 1 in Britain after Agnes World, the July Cup victor. And again, another marvellous result for British racing, because we want the sport here to attract superstars from around the world. We generally haven't attracted many horses from Japan, and Japanese racing professionals will see what's happened here today, and they'll see that their horse, who isn't actually in the very top tier of Japanese thoroughbreds, was able to win the Nassau Stakes. And for the sport, and that's a marvellous thing, Oisin Murphy, who's got a great relationship with Japanese racing, was the winning jockey. He understood the significance of the victory. And so on a day when Khadija Mellah sent out a wonderful message for British racing, Deirdre did exactly the same.
Excellent. And any other results that impressed you?
So everything sort of got overshadowed today, but we did have two more group races in which Golden Horde in the Richmond Stakes for Clive Cox and Naya Frode for the Mark Johnson camp in the Gordon Stakes delivered strong wins. But ultimately, this was a day when the main story came not from one of the official horse races, it came from the charity race that kick-started the card, and it delivered the sort of headlines that are very rarely made by horse race. I've written today in a colour piece that really most of what goes on in our parish doesn't really matter. That we look at the sport and we write about the sport and we love the sport, but generally what we write about and what we watch, we look at, stays within the sport. It doesn't go beyond our confines. What happened today really will do, and it was a hugely enjoyable afternoon of horse racing, and probably, hopefully, a hugely important day for the sport as well.
It has been a fantastic day here. Hope you can join us again for the rest of the week, and don't forget to look at racingpost.com for all the news and the previews going forward.